These Cowboy Hamburger Steaks are going to blow your mind. Let me show you what to do. I know this isn't TikTok, I know this isn't short form, but I am going to show you what to do today. Now for our Cowboy Hamburger Steaks today, we wanted to keep this recipe very simple. But the one thing that we didn't want to skimp on was the ground beef today. So today we're going to be grinding our own. I have some trim left over from a Bawari Wagyu brisket that I used in a competition. I did cut this a little bit smaller because I didn't have my meat 1 horsepower grinder. This thing is super heavy duty and it's going to do this with ease. I also have some sirloin here. I wanted something a little bit leaner because there's so much fat in this brisket. We definitely don't want a burger too fatty. We have made them too fatty in the past, and I'll tell you what, it makes it really hard to hold together, and they are very, very rich in the end, which I do think is a little bit too much, especially for a recipe like this. Now I'm just gonna put everything up top, and I am gonna make sure to grind the sirloin first. Because of the fat that's in that Wagyu brisket, I don't want it to be overpowering, just like I said, so I want to make sure that I can control it as best as possible. I'm going to go ahead and turn my grinder on, and you're going to see just how fast this grinder rips through this sirloin. Now we're going to go ahead and go in with the Wagyu brisket, and you guys are instantly going to see a change in the fat content of this beef. Now I'm gonna get the ground beef back up top, and we're gonna run it through this one more time just to try and get a really good grind and mixture of all this beef. And if anybody is curious at home, I used 2 pounds of sirloin. I'm actually not too sure exactly what I used on the brisket. Those were just trimmings. I could have weighed it, but I just used everything that I had. This right here looks like a really good ratio of beef. What I was going for was something like 85-15, this might be around there, 80-20, but it looks really good and it doesn't look like it has as much fat as the last round I made, which was definitely a little bit too much. Now that we've got our ground beef mixture, we're going to use a burger press just to make sure that we get nice and uniform burgers today. So I'm going to get this press, I'm filling it to the top. These are gonna be thick boys today. So we get this, pop it out, and our burger's ready to go. We're gonna be making 6 of these today. I just got this burger press at Walmart. I literally think it was on clearance for like $2 or $3. Nothing special. I really don't even know why I have the top part. I'm not even using it. Now, if you guys don't have access to a grinder where you can grind your own burgers, just grab these from the grocery store. That's gonna work perfectly fine. We just wanted to elevate this a little bit today. I've put my burgers onto a baking rack that has some oil sprayed on, and today we're gonna go over top with Southern Belle. This is our beef rub. I definitely think anything beef related is gonna be perfect for this dish today. I'm just gonna go over top of every single burger with a nice coating. We'll go ahead and flip these burgers over and do the same exact thing to the top side. Now I can lift my rack a little bit and get the sides. Just move around and get every side until we got full coverage. Now we're outside. I've got my Weber Smoky Mountain running right at 275 degrees. I do want it to climb gradually, but I want my Cowboy Hamburger Steaks to get some smoke flavor in the beginning. And today we're using Royal Oak briquettes as our fuel. And just to make sure I don't overcook these burgers, I'm gonna put my Temp Spike Pro right in the middle. And that right there is the advantage of getting these burgers all the same size. They're gonna be very similar in weight, and I know they're all gonna be done at the same time. Now our goal is just to watch these hamburger steaks get to temp. We don't wanna fully cook them because we are going to be adding some extra ingredients, but we want these to get to around 145 to 150 degrees before we move on to the next step. It's been right at 30 minutes on our smoked burger. My Temp Spike Pro is telling me they're at 145 degrees. So we want to get them off the smoker, take them inside, and add the rest of the ingredients for our recipe. The burgers are looking incredible. They have a great color on them. This is exactly where I want to see them. Now we're inside with our smoked burgers. We've got our baking dish. We're just going to line the smoked hamburger steaks on the bottom. I've got some Rosarita refried beans. If you guys want to make your own refried beans, by all means. But I told you earlier that the most complex thing about this recipe was going to be grinding your own burgers. We'll do about I don't know, a tablespoon or so. Smear it all over top. Just gonna spread it out a little bit, nothing crazy. I've got 19 ounces of enchilada sauce that we're gonna pour right into the dish. Next, we're gonna go over top with some sliced onions. Now I've got some shredded American cheese that we're gonna put all over top every single one of these hamburger steaks. And then we're gonna go over with the lighter layer of Monterey Jack cheese. Now we'll go over each hamburger steak with a sliced jalapeno. This is completely optional. And then we'll go back onto the smoker and we're gonna wait for this cheese to melt and everything to get nice and gooey. It's about 15 minutes later, it's time to take our Cowboy Hamburger Steaks off. All we were looking to do was melt the cheese. We got them to that 145 degrees. They are gonna continue cooking a little bit, but they'll be just fine. The cheese is nice and melty. I know that enchilada sauce has to be nice and hot as well. Those jalapenos are gonna be a nice touch on top, and I know those onions are gonna go really well. Let's get this inside, let it cool down for a few minutes, then we're gonna get a bite. We've let our Cowboy Hamburger Steaks rest for around 10 minutes. Now it's time to get it out of our enchilada sauce and see exactly how we did. Gonna go ahead and put it on a plate here. Now, one of the things I can tell you right off the bat is that I can smell the smoke off of this hamburger steak. It smells like it's going to add a lot of flavor to this Cowboy Hamburger Steak. One of the local restaurants near us is called Butter Churn, and they have this on their menu. I believe it's every Thursday night. It's something that I really enjoy and that I wanted to recreate. They do it a little bit differently than we did here today, but let's see how we did. You guys can see that burger is fully cooked. There's a nice little smoke ring there, still plenty juicy. Now, of course, let's take a bite. The beans, it is just so good. The enchilada sauce adds a little spiciness, a little chipotle, a little Mexican style flavor there. The cheese is melted perfectly. The onion is perfect, and the burger is out of this world. If you guys weren't even making these Cowboy steaks, it was just a delicious burger. End of story. But you absolutely need to try this one. 1,000,000 out of 10. I'm gonna go in for a third bite on camera, which I typically don't do. Look how perfect this hamburger steak is cooked. That's one of the things that I cannot stress to you guys enough. Don't overcook this. You want to pull them a little bit before they're done to finish cooking while it's sitting in that sauce, and you put that cheese on top. You 100% have to try this. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. As always, we really appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one. Now I gotta take a bite with that jalapeno. A bigger bite. So delicious.